Hey everyone, this is Nidhi and I'm one of the experts at EnglishWise. We are back with another video which is going to be about transferable scores. A lot of students might have heard this term floating around in the PT industry. What are transferable scores and how do they actually work, right? Transferable scores is nothing but how one module contributes score to another module, and this is what makes PT so much more interesting and so much more worth the time. Now when you actually look at PT, you've got 4 modules. You've got speaking, writing, listening and reading. I'll start with speaking. Being the most funniest thing actually, speaking is one of the only modules in your PTE which actually is able to give points out but does not really take points from elsewhere. If you think from a common sense point of view, it actually makes sense. Because speaking has a lot of tasks where you're listening and speaking, or you're listening and reading. But with other modules, you can't really speak along with it, right? So speaking becomes all the more really important for you guys to make sure that you get more transferable scores. Let's look at the modules, or let's look at the tasks in your speaking module, starting with read aloud. Read aloud is a task under speaking, which happens to be your very first task in speaking, right? In this particular task, you are going to get a paragraph of 2 to 3 lines in front of you, and you have to make sure that you speak those 2 to 3 lines in the given period of time. Coming back to transferable scores, what does that actually mean? In that, you guys are going to be reading and speaking at the same time, which means you will get scores in speaking and in reading. To be very, very precise, you get about 30 to 34 points into your reading module. That makes it really crucial for you guys to make sure read aloud goes according to plan. So in this case, guys, you will be getting points in speaking as you are speaking the words, and you will be getting points into listening. To be very precise, you get about 40 to 44 points into your listening. Moving on, with describe image, again, you're not really doing any other thing apart from speaking the words that you see. Again, guys, those of you who don't know what describe image is, you will be getting any sort of a bar graph, bar diagram, a histogram, a pie chart, a picture, a Venn diagram, a map, or a table where you have to basically speak the content that you have in front of you. So there is no other transferable score, there is only speaking, and you get points into your speaking. Number 4 is retell lecture. Now, in retell lecture, which is quite similar to repeat sentence, only the length is a bit more. You will listen to a transcript of a recording basically, and you have to make sure that you retell that particular lecture that you have heard. Now with repeat sentence, it's only a sentence, but with retell lecture, it's a bit longer. But the logic is still the same. You are listening and you are speaking. You get points into your speaking module, as well as your listening. You get about 10 points to listening. And the last one is answer short question. Very simple, guys. You will be asked a question mostly that revolves around common sense, general knowledge question, an optional based question, or a picture based question, right? Again, you listen and you answer in 1 or 2 words. You get points into your speaking as well as your listening. Moving on, let's go to reading. You have a couple of transferable scores even here. There is only one task under your reading module that actually gives you transferable scores, which happens to be the most important one, guys. Drop down, fill in the blanks. Okay, in drop down, fill in the blanks, you will be getting a transferable score into your writing because you're choosing from a list of words. For those of you who don't know what drop down, fill in the blanks is, please make sure to watch our video on the strategies that we employ in blanks. Again, moving on, the last one is your writing and listening. In writing module, you have transferable scores from the first task in the module, which happens to be summarized written text. Summarized written text is nothing but a passage of any general knowledge topic that you will be getting. All you have to do is read the passage and summarize it in 1 sentence. I just said the transferable score here, guys. You are reading and you are writing a summary. You get points into writing and into your reading. You get anywhere between 4 to 8 points into your reading, so please make sure not to miss out on this one and always use this strategy. Next one is your listening. The first task in listening is summarize spoken text, very similar to retell lecture. The only difference is you have to write a summary, while in retell lecture you retell the entire lecture. So summarized spoken text, you will be listening to a lecture for anywhere between 1 or 3 minutes, and you have to make sure that you take enough good enough points and then you write them into a summary. So I said that right there. You are listening and you are writing. It gives you about 35 points, 20 to listening and about 15 to writing. And the next one that has transferable score is your highlight correct summary, highlight incorrect words. Highlight correct summary and highlight incorrect words, both of them give transferable scores to reading, and you also get points into your listening because you're listening and you're also reading the options that has been given to you. And finally, the most important thing of all, write from dictation, guys. Write from dictation is quite similar to repeat sentence but a little different in nature. You will again listen to a sentence, but rather than repeating it, you will be writing it. Okay, so here you get points into listening and you get points into your writing, roughly about 56 to 60 points. So you can expect 30 points and 30 points, both the listening and writing. I really hope you have understood every single task that has a transferable score and how that impacts your score in your real exam. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll be back with another video soon.